Sean Zittel, honor and a privilege to be joined by the great Roy Jones Jr., host of Hall of Game, alongside his fellow Hall of Famer Andre Ward. And here we are here joined by the number one nationally ranked heavyweight in the United States at 198 pounds, Joseph Awinongya Jr., the winner of late last year's national tournament against Malachi Georges. And Joseph, man, it's fitting that we got Roy Jones here. I think there's some similarities in style. He hosts a show with the last man to win a gold medal, and that is your goal in 2028 in Los Angeles in the
Yeah.
Olympics. So Joseph, how you doing, brother?
Doing well. Glad to have me. Glad to be here with you guys. Just thank you for all the praise right there.
Thank you, Joseph. Nice to be here with you too,
Mhm.
brother.
Yep, thank you.
How much Roy Jones have you watched? I know you're not a crazy boxing head just yet, but I imagine you do know about some Roy Jones Jr.
Yeah, there's no way you could go through boxing without hearing the name Roy Jones. So, uh, I'm, it's surreal to even see how far I've made it to where I can even be in the same space as you. And yeah, it's beautiful how the boxing world all comes full circle, and the next generation is being taught from the last. So it's beautiful.
Thank you,
Now,
brother. Thank you.
for you, Roy, like to hop in in your evening time. You got a lot of things going on, like the show with Andre, and I imagine you watch the amateurs. Your heart will always be with the USA boxing program, but it wouldn't take just any old amateur to get you to hop on like this to talk to. What do you think of Joseph Awinongya Jr.? What was it that makes you take an interest to him this early on in his career?
I said in one of my pre-fight interviews before I did my last fight in Washington, they were talking about the heavyweight division, and I told them there is a heavyweight on the way. His name is Joseph. He's definitely on the way. It's gonna take him a couple years to get there. I said I hope my guy Darnell can be there and gone by the time he gets there, because my guy Darnell is already 30, so he gonna try to get there before Joseph can. But Joseph definitely is on the way, and Joseph is definitely, to me, the next great American heavyweight.
Is that a
Thank you.
Darnell Watts you're talking about, Roy?
No, his name is Darnell Thompson.
Darnell
Yes, he's
Thompson,
got.
gotcha.
Yeah, he's a late starter. He played football. He's a late bloomer. He he's such a hard worker, and I think if he gets there to be his work ethic and determination, it won't be the skill level that Joseph has. Joseph has a much different skill level, and Joseph started at a lot younger age. So Joseph is more inclined to be more like I was. He's a boxing head because he's been in it so long. Guys like Darnell, we hope to get in and get lucky and get to the top and get out, but a guy like Joseph has been built. Joseph has been raised for this. This is the difference in most boxers and guys that try to come in and do it. The guys that have been raised for this, they come up through everything being boxing. That's what makes them so much better. That's the one thing, the one beauty that I love about boxing over MMA. MMA, you can learn a few things. You know how to wrestle a bit. You know how to box a bit. You know how to do a little bit of kickboxing. You can be pretty good because you put all those things together. You get a very good fighter, right? But in boxing, if you ain't just a very good boxer, uh-uh, you don't pass the test.
Yeah, that's for sure.
There's
So
some there's some so he Joseph has said before he likes Deontay Wilder, and he's a big puncher like Deontay, tall, wiry frame like Deontay, but we know Deontay started boxing late.
right.
And Joseph, how old were you when you first started boxing?
5 years old.
See,
5 years.
see,
Yeah.
raised,
So
raised for this game.
for
And what was your first weight when you won your first national title, Joseph?
first national tournament I won, that was the Silver Gloves Nationals. I was, I believe, 8 years old at 80 pounds. So
And what are all
yeah,
the weights you've won the nationals at leading up to last year winning it at 198?
man, I've won nationals at 80 pounds, all the way through 119, 125, all of those divisions. I don't believe I've even skipped one weight class. I think there might be like one, maybe like one. I couldn't even tell you which one. I've been through every single weight class and won national tournaments at every single one. So fully felt different styles from every single weight, and able to incorporate that in who I am today and make my game even better.
Roy, Anthony Davis, he's from around the same place in Illinois as Joseph is. And he talked about he was a point guard. He was 6'2". And then just
Mhm.
one year he had this growth spurt where he became 6'9", 6'10", but he still had the skills of a guard now playing the big man position. And do you see that with Joseph? Like he has the abilities of a lighter weight fighter now all the way up at heavyweight.
That's why I say he'll be projected as the next great American heavyweight champ because he learned it. He came all the way from 80 pounds. So he knows how to fight every division. He knows how to fight at every speed. He knows everything about it. But when you can bring that kind of speed up to a heavyweight division, that's Ali all over again to make it. It's a matter of time and a matter how far you go with it. But yes, because he started small, he learned a small game first. Now he got it bigger with the small game. It makes you definitely much more impressive as a big guy when you can do small game. That's why Michael Dokes was so good. Michael Dokes threw small man combinations, but he was a big dude, you know? That's why I used to like to see him fight. Michael Dokes threw more combination punches than most of these 140, 147 pounders do right now. And he was a heavyweight.
I know, Andre, he keeps an eye on the amateurs. He likes like Marcus Luther, who's like best friends with Joseph here, going overseas with the tournaments. Have you talked with Andre at all about Joseph coming up?
Yeah, I spoke to him about Joseph. I spoke to him about probably getting him on the show, but he didn't say a whole lot. But yeah, and that's probably why he didn't want to do it because he probably wouldn't want one on without the other. So yeah,
This is the warm up, Joseph. Before you get to the big leagues with Andre and Roy on the Hall of Game. You get your reps
Yeah,
in right here with me, you know?
yeah, that's for sure. Yeah,
So how long have you been in Colorado? I feel like you've been living there in 2026, shortly after
yeah,
the Nationals wrapped up last December.
yeah. Basically, so all the way from January 11th, I've probably been home a total of four weeks since then, and random times, but going through different tournaments and also just taking the time to fully recover and rejuvenate my body before we go into the Pan Ams and go into next year's really qualifications towards the Olympic gold. And yeah, that was the main goal from this year. And I believe that we're hitting that point. So next we got Pan American Games coming up in October, where go ahead and succeed with gold, give me that ranking into next year, start getting that Olympic position.
And you
yep.
still, oh, go ahead, Roy. My bad.
No, I said yep. I like to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
I believe you're only about a month removed from a big overseas tournament. Where was that tournament at? And I believe you were matched in the first round against the number 1 seed, and you actually beat him, right? And we're talking a guy who's much older than you, right? So how old was that fighter? And it was the number 1 seed that I guess you could say upset in the first round of that tournament, right?
Which tournament are you talking about?
Was this the one in Brazil or in China?
No,
There was what?
no, I
Yeah,
didn't fight in those two. I was the last tournament I had was in Bulgaria.
there you
That
go.
was the main one, and then so there had one opponent. First day it was a Cuban. Second day after that, we had a Kazakhstan fighter, and then last I went against Uzbekistan, which is the number 1 in the weight class currently.
And he how competitive was that last one? And then the Uzbek was what, 25, 26, almost maybe even 30 years old?
I couldn't even tell you. But when it comes to the Kazakhstan fighter, I would say that one was a little bit more of the hardest fight because he tried to win to his fullest extent. Like he really put that he went to the second level to try to steal the win from me. But in the third fight, it wasn't anything too difficult. It was just like because he has the name behind him within
Yep.
those circuits, it's it's not as difficult to get a win. You know, just you have to throw 1,000, and if he lands two, just know something's
They call it
is it might
politics.
not go in your it might not go in your favor. So you gotta. It's something with the Olympic journey. It's just a couple of trials and tribulations you have to go over, and we'll see what changes within the next tournament that comes.
It's called amateur boxing politics. That's what it's called.
Yeah, yeah.
Roy, you know
It's one
something
hurdle to
about
get
that
over.
in 88,
No,
Seoul, Korea.
I know a whole lot about it.
Hmm.
Although actually, the fighter Roy fought just recently gave you that gold medal, right, Roy? And
He did. Bless his heart. He did do that. Yep.
so since Joseph here is trying to go for the gold for the first, I mean, we haven't had one since Andre did it in Greece, 2004. What's the best advice you could give Joseph, and what chance do you think Joseph has of doing that, and how big would that be for USA boxing, Roy?
I think he's pretty much a deadlock to do it as long as he stays focused. Don't take nobody lightly and always stay ready, but don't go about showing them your skills if you don't have to go. So if it's not a required international tournament to fight, don't do it because The more they see you, the more they can prepare for you. The less they see you, the less they can prepare for you. So don't let them keep taking you over there, parading you in front of all them people all the time just because they can. Nah, you sit in the cut, wait till it counts. Cause just like the guy that gave that decision over you, you know how to beat him now because you've seen him. So you know what it takes. And now he gonna be on your turf. So don't go show him no more. You show him enough. You take your time, you be smart about it, and you go after you get there, you go beat everybody. But like you do, like I've seen you do so many times, always be willing and ready to switch up in the middle of the action. Because you got to know how to change the game and make adjustments mid-fight. As long as you can do that, and you got great feet like I've seen so far, you should be able to beat them all.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep.
Roy, you mentioned great feat just now, and I know you already mentioned what you like is the pedigree of starting from a young age. But what's the skill set and the tools and the attributes that make you say you see him as the best heavyweight prospect the United States had in a long time?
Number one is his experience. Number one. Number two is his mental aspect. He got the mind of a winner. When you have a winner's mentality, that goes further than everything. Then when you have a skill level to back up that winning mentality, it's hard to stop you. So it's like I've seen Joseph in several different occasions. Joseph knows how to make adjustments when necessary, but he also has a winner's mentality. So when we put that winner's mentality with the fact that he knows how to make necessary adjustments, who gonna beat him? It ain't many people in the world that can do that. And the ones that can, they can do it for 3 rounds, but can they do it for 8? Can they do it for 10? Can they do it for 12? You understand me? He gonna be able to do that. I don't know if they can.
Joseph, what's some advice now that you got the Hall of Famer right here with us, man? What is there anything you'd want to ask him about heading into 2028?
The main thing is, how do you balance life after your Olympic gold? What do you, after you make your success, what's the first step? What's the first move you make?
The first thing you gotta do is start planning for a long future because we don't know what the life going in tomorrow. Tomorrow's not promised to us. We got to plan for a long future. And the way we plan for a long future, the best way I continue to do it is look at what's going to be best for you 10, 12, 15 years from now. Because that's what you're living for. Not for tomorrow, not for the week after tomorrow, but for 10, 12, 15 years after that. Those are the decisions that you want to make. Decisions that you're gonna be happy that you made 10, 12, 15 years from now. Tomorrow decision, I make a decision that's good for tomorrow, the next day, that's not gonna get it for you. So just be calm, be cool. Your dad got my number. Call me anytime because I'm not that guy that's chasing you to try to sign you or make people try to steal. No, 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 no. You call me for anything because I'm the guy who's gonna tell you what it really is. It's just that your dad knows that already, of course, but you just gotta learn how to focus, keep God first. Keep God first in everything you do. You do that. After God, you remember your family and you. If you're happy, you're in a good place, and you got God on your side, ain't nothing can stop you. When I turned pro, we started my own promotion company because I didn't want to go give myself to the other promoters to take advantage of me or to basically slut you out. So I did my own thing until I needed to go join with them. I had to sign a deal with Barbarian in order to fight Bernard Hopkins because that was his guy. So I had to do that 3 fight deal. Then I did one more, but like I thought, he basically tried to slut me out in that second deal. So after that, I said, that's it, I'm out. And on my fight against James Tony, I fought for my own freedom. I was like, I'm not signing no contract. If I beat him, I'm on my own, make my deal with HBO. If I lose, I'm rock bottom. So I take my chances. I gambled on myself by the grace of God, and I won. And that's how I stayed for free. So if you can stay free, son, the more free you can stay, the more money you can make, the more decisions you can make, and the more you will control your own future. So I've been talking to your dad about it, but the biggest balance is keeping God first, then trying to stay as free as you can. Because as a free man, they gotta want you because you're the best thing going. Everybody can want you because you're the best thing going at the division. So having that, you don't have to belong to nobody. You can belong to God first, then you can belong to Joseph. You don't have to belong to nobody else.
Hmm.
And then one
Talent.
more.
Yeah, go ahead, Joseph.
Would you say you do you have any regrets during your Olympic journey or any things you would have changed that you
My
could
Olympic,
have added in?
no, my Olympic journey, no, because my Olympic journey was one of the funnest times of my life. I made sure that I enjoyed every moment of it. The only thing I didn't like was when they cheated me at the end. And for that, really, there's really nothing else I could have done because if you beat a guy as bad as I beat him, you don't go for the knockout because you go for the knockout, he might knock you out. The best time to knock you
Yeah.
out And when you gonna try to knock, when you try to knock him out, when you try to knock you out. So why would I go for the knockout as bad as I didn't beat him? So I could look back and say, oh, you should try to stop me for what? Either they would have disqualified me or something else. As bad as I beat you, couldn't beat a man no worse than that without knocking him out. So there's nothing I could have changed. So I think I did. I just made sure I enjoyed the moment. I enjoyed everything, the going, the coming, the eating, everything that happens there. Take advantage of it, enjoy it, because it's the experience of a lifetime. You understand me? You're one of one. You're the only guy over there representing your country in your weight class. That's a hell of a pedestal to be put on. And that's a hell of an experience. So you make sure you savor that experience. You take as many pictures as you can, as many videos as you can, and you save all that. Because one day you're gonna come back and look at that and say, wow, this when I was here, this when I save all of it, because it's gonna mean something years down the line. I Only thing I wish I would have did was save more pictures than I saved, but we didn't have phones like y'all have now, so it was a lot harder. But if I had more video, I would have recorded just about everything, every teammate, a lot of interactions. I would have recorded all that, because down the line, you look back at it, you remember those times, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were just 4 years shy of getting to see Jordan and the Dream Team too, Roy. You just missed out on
Exactly.
that before, but
Exactly. But I saw Mitch Richmond.
oh, you see Mitch Richmond. Okay, yeah, yeah.
Mitch was on my team, and Cynthia Weatherspoon.
Yeah, from the
Yeah,
women's team, right?
and Coop was on the women's team too.
Uh, uh,
Cynthia
so,
Cooper.
yeah, yeah,
Cynthia
yeah.
Cooper, yeah, from
Cynthia
Houston,
Cooper.
actually. Yeah.
So yeah, you still saw some ballers, Roy.
Some bars, yeah.
And to your point too about how special the Olympic journey is and being one of one to represent. There's been hundreds of world champions since the last gold medal, and gold, even forget gold medal, gold, silver medalists like Keyshawn and Shakur, bronze like Deontay. There's only, a handful, maybe a dozen or so medalists that have represented this country in the last 25 years, but there's been hundreds of world champions. So to Roy's point, that's a special designation. And I even remember the trainers back in the day telling me there's a purity to the amateur days when you're not getting paid and it's just all about glory and competition. And once you get to the pros, there's a lot of sharks there and it's a business. So yeah, for what it's worth, just adding on to what Roy said too. And to Roy's first point about he did his own thing and eventually secured his own deal with HBO and really only worked with the big promoters when he had to. Roy, you already know this. They're all circling Joseph Awinongya. You
Of
name
course,
it.
of course, of
You name it.
course, of course, of course they are. But why you need them when you got a big enough name already? You got places like the Zone, you got other outlets. You got a casino right there in Chicago that's willing to partner with you to do whatever you want to do. Bro, you can own your own corner of boxing, kind of like what I did. I owned my own corner when I was fighting. You can own your own corner, you know. So why let them take and guide you around and steal what they want to steal when you can own your own corner? You don't have to go to them. You can own your own corner.
And I mean, Devin Haney's done it to a degree. I mean, he
To a
he works
degree,
with the promoters when he needs
to a
to, when
degree,
you got to do what
exactly.
you got to do. But
You know who else did a masterful job of that? Miguel Cotto. Miguel Cotto worked to monitor the promoters how he wanted to work with them. He didn't lock in with nobody. He fought everybody's top guy. Now he didn't beat them all, but he fought everybody's top guy. So Joseph, you in your series, you're gonna be able to beat most of everybody's top guy. So you're gonna be even in an even better spot because you're gonna be able to float on your own.
and being talented and gifted, it's leverage, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
It gives you leverage.
And what it does is it makes you become must see TV. When you become must see TV, things stop when you perform. You know what I'm saying? Everything stopped when Roy Jones fought. Why? It was must see TV. Everybody wanted to see what he was going to do next.
Joseph, how's school going? I think you graduated high school at 16, right? And you're still doing college school. How's that possible when you got to train a lot during the day and you got to go overseas? And how's that going? How's school going?
So, actually, I graduated at 13. So I graduated high school at 13, completed with my bachelor's at 18, now going for my master's, but master's in business, still at St. Francis University in Illinois. But school's going great, starting out my next semester in August and just taking that day by day. But something I do want to say behind that, recently got my little sister to start following in the same footsteps. She's going to be able to start college too at
Nice.
13 years old. And
Nice.
that's really just a testament to if you have beautiful people around you that continue to encourage and put you in the right location. It's not just something that only I could do, but whoever puts their mind to it will be able to accomplish the same things. So, yeah,
That's awesome. Congratulations on that. That's very awesome.
yeah, thank you.
Is that not something different though, Roy?
Yeah, totally different. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
This dude is different already. So I'm trying to tell you, he's special already and he's different already. So now, see, I take the rest of his what he is in life already. You got to formulate that to a ring presence because he's different, he's unique, he's special. You got to be there every time you go in the ring when you turn pro. Do that, and you won't have no problems.
So it's funny because Roy is fresh off, Joseph, Roy's fresh off this really engaging discussion he had with Andre about Jaron Ennis, about Boots. And Boots is he's one of the gifted ones, the guys that can get away with things the other 99.9% of fighters cannot. And you know, people on the outside, myself included sometimes, you can't help but pick apart, well, he has his hands down when he does this. Not everything always goes to the exact rules of the game. And when you fight a lot, Joseph, and I've talked with you about it, you'll have your hands low and you got a good sense of distance, good feet. You make guys fall short and you tag them, but still, you can't help but think, is that going to catch up with you? Is that going to be a problem as you climb the levels in boxing? Roy, what do you think of that, man? I know you've seen tape on Joseph. Is that okay how he does that, or are you gonna have to pick your hands up sometimes?
Who beat him?
No one lately. Yeah.
That's my point. So they can't beat him. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. They can't beat him. What do you got to fix that for? A lot of times, when your hands up, you just give a guy a better indication of where you target at. With your hand down, he's scared to miss because he don't know where they're coming from if you do miss. So it's pros and cons to that. But it depends on who you are and what you're doing. Joseph has enough ability and skill levels to where he understands what he's doing. He knows what's available and what's not available. If you can do that, why would you not do that? That's why these guys walk around brain damage because they kept their hands up. But the hands up, every time a strong punch hit in your hands, that's still impact to your head. So it's still messing you up. So the good guys are the guys that either know how to get off of them with their arms way out there or slip it. It don't touch you at all. And Joseph know how to do both. So that's a great thing to me. I think if you can win and do it with your hands, I do it. The less you get hit, the better you are. Like I said, you gotta look at things that are gonna matter, not tomorrow, but 10 to 15 and 20 years from now. This will have you not talking so well. This, you'll be talking like me from now on.
Hey, I do have a question. What do you think about Anderson? I believe it was the third round. Do you believe he got knocked or rocked a little bit, or
He,
do
he
you
did get
believe
hurt a
like
little bit, but he did get hurt a little bit, but it wasn't as bad as people thought it was. You understand? They thought he
yeah,
was really in bad shape. No, he wasn't. He was still battling. He did get caught, but he knew what he was. He knew where he was. He was okay. He did get buzzed a little bit, you know what I'm saying, more than he said he did, but he wasn't buzzed to the point where he was almost out of the no.
do you believe that if there was a quote unquote higher skilled opponent that could have like took more advantage of that situation or no?
No, because just like yourself, myself, anybody that's gonna be a really good elite boxer, when you got a guy that's less than you, you're gonna try stuff that you won't try on a guy
Yeah,
that's your
that's
equal or better. So if he had a
yep.
better fight in front of him, he wouldn't have did what he did to
He
give
wouldn't
him that
have
opportunity.
any.
You understand me? You
Yep.
know that, I know that. Anybody that's at that next level where we ain't just normal, we got so much stuff that we can do that we know who to try it on and who not to try it on. It's like I told a guy when I play pool or and most people when they play chess, you know who you playing right away. You playing a real shark in pool, you can't shoot certain shots because if you miss, you might not shoot again.
Mm-hmm.
But when you play every regular average good people, you can come back and recover from that. So it's just like boxing. You fight a sharp dude, you can't make a mistake because he's gonna get you. But if you fight a he ain't is what you thought he was, well, you can try some stuff because if he catches you, you can recover from that. And
Yep.
that's just life. So I'm sorry, but that's just what it is.
Yeah. I see that fully. That's exactly what I was thinking too, because
Yep.
that's how I take some of my fights as well. It's like
Of
sometimes you
course,
could go in there with your hands down. If you know that, oh, this guy has that ability, you'll never be going to be in that position because you increase your skill to be on par with that one. So
we can't help it. We fight. If you want to see the good ones, bring him another good one. You want to see a great one, bring him another great one.
mhm.
So is Boots one of the guys you're actually enjoying right now, Joseph? Are you tuned into him?
Yeah, recently that last IS fight that was fun to watch. It was really entertaining too because I'm not gonna lie, watching it, like watching it live, then when you see, like, because I thought he was a little bit more rocked, but then when I go back and look, I see that he wasn't as rocked as what I thought he was while watching it live. But it was very entertaining to watch.
Yeah, he was still trying to knock. He was still trying to knock Zion out while
Yep.
Zion was trying to get him too.
Yep.
So, but if he would been hurt, he wouldn't been trying to do that. He'd been trying to cover up.
Yeah, and he hurt Zayas too at the end of that round.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I ask you that, Joseph, because Roy, when I've talked to Joseph before, his dad loves boxing. His dad's the type, always got a fight on YouTube, always watching like an old fight or what's going on. And Joseph, not as much. And he explained to me before, I'm focused on the amateur scene right now. So when I become a professional, I'll be watching a lot more of the professionals. And he watches your Buds and your Boots and Shakur and guys like that. But I remember you, Roy, being a guy who like looked up to Salvador Sanchez in the 80s. Even so, should Joseph watch more of the pros at this stage, or do you like his mindset of what he's got going on?
I like his mindset because, truly speaking, why keep watching it when he been fighting since he was 5 years old? It might burn him out. He got a 5 year start on me. So if my dad was making me watch boxing every day, I've been burned out by the time I got 20. You understand me? So it's like you don't want to burn him out on pro boxing. So why would he sit there and watch pro boxing all the time? And most of the pro boxers he watch now can't do what he can do. So it's like, what you watching them for? So if you're gonna do anything as you get older, you'll pick guys out that you can steal stuff from, like Ken Norton's defense, Jordan Foreman's defense, Larry Holmes' defense, all them defense mainly with their arms and their legs. So you learn those few things from them, yeah. But just watching normal boxing, no, for what? You're gonna burn yourself out on it. And he boxing all the time since he's 5 years old. It's not hard to burn out. So you gotta be careful what you do.
That's exactly what you told me, Joseph, I think, when I asked you about that. You don't want to burn it out.
And I ain't never even talked to him about that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Okay, but all right, what's the catalog, Roy? Based on what you've seen from him, now going forward in the heavyweight division as a grown man, I imagine some Lennox Lewis. Like, who does he need to? Who would you recommend him to watch to learn something from?
Right now, do what you're doing and go and handle your business at the Olympics. Don't pay nobody no attention yet. If you're a turn pro, then you can watch the likes of Lennox Lewis, the Klitschko's, Ali, Foreman, Holmes, Norton, Michael Dokes, Greg Page. It's a lot of guys you can watch get a lot from because a lot of those guys were really good boxers, and some of them really knew how to put punches together. You don't see a lot of that in today's fighting, which is why boxing is not as exciting as it used to be because everybody just picks and moves. Nobody throws 5, 6, 7 punch combinations, with the exception of Boots and the Monster. And maybe anywhere behind there, but nobody really trying to.
Benavidez, Bam. You know.
I said a Monster. I said a
Oh, you
Monster.
did. Oh, I thought you meant
And
I thought you meant
Yeah, I
Inoue, the
thought he
monster.
meant
Yeah,
both.
he meant both because they're
I
both
meant
the
both. Yeah,
monster.
both the Monsters. Yeah. And Bam does too, but not many people doing that. That's like a handful that are throwing combinations like that. But you go into the old school, you saw a lot of those guys throw a lot more punches with a lot more bad intent on them. You understand me? So it's like you gotta go back and see what the people love. You steal what the people love from some of the greats, and you make jokes.
Jojo, they call me a hater when I make the point Roy just made about modern boxing. But now Roy said it, so they got they got to get off me.
It's funny.
It's the truth.
It's the truth. But let me. Okay, so Joseph, you talked with Moses Itauma briefly at Wardley and Dubois, and you guys took that picture. He even admitted Roy he was sizing him up a little bit. You
He's
know,
supposed to. He's supposed to. He's supposed to. Everybody's coach your weight division. When you get coached to him, you're supposed to size them up. You don't know what might happen. One of them might decide they want to make a comeback when you get to be world champ. You don't know what might happen. So you got to size him up. He's doing the right thing. That's how you know he has that winner's mentality. When a guy got sense enough to do that, you know he's a winner for real. Because I sized up everybody I came in contact with when I was coming up.
is that the fight you think in the 10 years, 8, 9, 10 years from now in the division? You think it's Joseph and Moses?
Without a question. Without a question. Without a question.
So are you actually already watching him, Joseph, when he fights or nah?
Yeah, at times, not too tuned in. It's just like, oh, you see the highlights, but I don't really try to make it a focus to see. It's most of the time his fights are pretty quick too. So you just see the highlight, and that's really what I look at. But I do like some of his skill. He does have the little bit of quickness to him, so you're able to just see a little bit of what he's doing, and then watching where I could come in and do better at. So yeah.
Is he one of the guys that does impress you then?
Yeah, he's I would say pretty impressive in the weight division because a lot of the people that he's going against, they're it's not like you can see that there's a difference in the stats that they hold. He has the quickness, he has a bunch of power over them, so you're able to just see that he is kind of like the outlier right now in the division. And yeah, I like how he's more he has a little bit more youthfulness to him when it comes to when he fights. So yeah.
Yeah, southpaw and the speed power combo that
Hmm.
can only be taught, but so much you're either kind of born with that speed power or you're not, right, Roy?
Right? Yeah, well, if we taught it too, yeah. In most cases, you got it or you don't.
Hmm. So before we get out of here, man, it's the World Cup right now, and me and Radio talked with you, Joseph, we joked about this, but with the World Cup going on, Roy, what I got a lot in the comments when I interviewed this young man because I'm excited for the red, white, and blue. I'm like, we got one. We I think we got our heavyweight. I think we got the kid who could win the gold medal. And they go,
What?
he's Ghanaian. He's Ghanaian. He's African. He's not. And I go, the kid is born in the United States. He's
Yes.
American. And
Yes.
Joseph, what'd you think about that? And do they gotta embrace the kid, Roy? Like, you gotta
Hey,
get on the bandwagon kind of
he
thing.
grew up. He grew up however old he is. He grew up that many years, born in an American hospital, eating American food, representing America in every country he's been in. So how can you say, "Oh no, he's Ghanaian"? Forget about that. He's born in this country. Therefore, he's American. He's American slash Ghanaian because his parents are Ghanaian, but he's born in this country. He's an American.
Yeah. And to what I have to say to that is just the the world is just that we live in now with the United States is so diverse that you can't even it's crazy to say that now. Half the people on more than half on the team you
Yep.
can't even say that for, so it's different.
I know Oscar De La Hoya won gold for the United States, and he brought out both flags. He brought out the Mexican flag and the American flag. Are you thinking of doing that when the time comes, Joseph? You just kind of represent both?
You never know. I'll have to see when it gets closer to that situation what my mind's going to be at. I'll be a little bit older, have different thoughts, so never know what I'm feeling at the time.
Well, man, it's the Olympics. It may be 2 summers away, but you could blink and it's here. I'm looking forward to that. I hope to be in LA. I'm sure Roy's gonna pull up to LA, probably with Andre to see it up close, right, Roy?
Better believe it.
Right. So it's interesting though. Roy tells you be selective of these tournaments going forward.
Hmm.
So what's the path for I'll leave with this. What's the path for the next 2 years? And for people that are interested, because the amateur boxing program doesn't get enough attention, NCAA football, NCAA basketball, those get huge ratings, almost like the pros. But you guys, Marty Luther or Marcus Luther, Salim Bey, guys don't get enough attention. What should people be looking out for from you for the next 2 years? And how are you plotting your course until we get to Los Angeles 2 summers from now?
Yeah, as you said, I am being fully selective with it. So as you've seen this year, main thing was going to one tournament because the other tournaments wasn't as mandatory, and it wasn't needed doing anything crazy for my rating. But the main thing is Pan American Games. After that, going into next year, getting an early selective position as the Olympic team member, and then from there to cruising. And when I say cruising, I mean full on training and making sure I'm in the best tip top shape, getting ready for that 2028 Olympic gold.
Yeah, I know those Pan Am games are crucial. Sugar Ray Leonard fought
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Pryor in them, and Thomas Hearns fought in them. Roy, you probably fought in them too, right? The Pan Am game.
I didn't fight in Pan
Yeah.
Am.
But it is one of the biggest
One of the biggest
tournaments
ones.
outside the Olympics,
One of the
right?
biggest and one of the best ones. Yes.
So best of luck to you, Joseph. Roy, thank you for your
Mm-hmm.
time, man, for hopping
Thank
on as well.
y'all. Thank you. And thank you, Joseph.
Yep.
Have a great day. Have a great day. Tell your dad I said what's happening.
Yep. Will do. Thank you
All
both.
right, buddy.